Gary Carter is Canada's All-American boy. He's still called the Kid by his teammates. In fact, his automobile license plate reads Kid 8, a combination of his nickname and number. But at 27, he's now at the pinnacle of his profession, with a swing that makes pitchers cower and a smile that makes ad men melt. Carter is the Expos field general, calling all the pitches, striking terror into the hearts of opposing base runners, setting the tempo of the game. Shortstop Chris Spire is a good counterpoint. Unhappy with the Expos' salary offer this year, he became a free agent, only to find that no other team wanted him. Spire had no choice but to sign again with Montreal. Now that the Expos have opened the vault for Gary Carter, there's speculation about hard feelings in the clubhouse.
Right. Well, like I said, the way I'm going to deal with it is just simply by going out there and playing the good sound baseball. The other way, if there is the guys that yell and scream about it, well, then we'll talk about it.
This is the other Gary Carter in his Montreal office, the chairman of the board of Kid 8 Incorporated, fending off a reporter's questions.
Sure.
This is really more of a shrine than an office, with trophies, pictures, memorabilia, and this letter from the White House in 1961. President John Kennedy offering congratulations on beating 205,000 other youngsters in a nationwide football competition. The message from JFK arrived when Gary Carter was 7.
At that time, at 7 years of age, I could have told you that my goals or my inspirations were to be a big league ball player. And so, I mean, here I was closing in on Little League, because Little League starts at 8 years of age, and that's what my intentions were, is I wanted to be a professional athlete, whatever it was going to be. I had 2 goals when I signed a contract, all right, in 1972, right out of high school. That was to be in the big leagues by age 21. I was there by 20. And to be a $100,000 ball player by age 25.
He did better than that. By the age of 22, Carter had signed a 5-year deal with the Expos, worth in excess of $1 million.
Montreal's Gary Carter hit the first pitch.
Back then, when I was coming out of high school, a $100,000 ball player was a superstar. Now, a $100,000 ball player is just a shot in the pan. It really is.
Hit his second homer of the game, bouncing it off the fence beyond a desperate Dave Winfield. Carter was voted the game's most valuable player.
A flash in the pan Gary Carter is certainly not. Most valuable player in the All-Star game, the Expos leader in the pennant drive, he is now one of the hottest properties in baseball.
Then came the game-saving defensive.
Everybody remembers number 1, nobody remembers number 2. And I've tried to become the best catcher in baseball. And I feel like I've arrived, and so in that regard, when you're compensated for being the best, then that's a good feeling. Next injury. Well, I'd say left thumb.
What year?
1976. Broken right hand.
When?
That was 1976 as well. That year was filled with injuries.
When you're compensated as Gary Carter is, your employers like to know the merchandise they're buying is in working order. This medical examination for the insurance policy which will guarantee the $18 million contract illustrates the price that Carter has had to pay.
1979, broken thumb, right thumb, fracture, and torn ligaments. The ligament pulled away from the bone. So they did surgery on there and placed 2 pins in there as well.
I'd say you're still in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think I'm all right. I think that covers it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be, you know...
Baseball pro tip storyboard. Here we are. Duke Snider opened up with Gary Carter swinging the bat.
Montreal sports agent Jerry Petrie has the job of selling Gary Carter to the Expos and marketing the Carter image to the business world.
We're leaving on
You can
10
see
o'clock
how bored I am about all this.
It is shooting now.
I'm glad, because they'll probably have that in there.
Yeah, probably. But anyways, we got an 8 o'clock limousine picking us up, taking us out to Adams Brands. We're going to do an audio-visual presentation, and then the next day, of course, is you're doing a 7-Up appearance in Toronto, and then you can fly. How about the script? Did you read that for the?
I read over it briefly. The thing that might be a little bit of trouble is the French. I read over it a little bit. Et longtemps, long terme, avec les Expos de Montréal. Félicitations. Félicitations.
Félicitations.
De vente.
80.
80.
Or you want to say 1981?
We'll say 80.
Carter's latest deal is with Adams Brands, the makers of chiclets and other confectionery products.
Someone's down Carter's pants.
He'll be paid to attend conventions and occasionally to don a microphone to tape motivational messages to the sales staff. But first, in the boardroom, as in the locker room, one of the game's eternal tasks, autographing baseballs.
Oh, super.
I know you'll give it your all and we'll have another winner. And speaking of winners, here's a guy you all know and have spent some fun times with, and he has a special announcement that should really cap the day. Our friend Gary Carter.
Thanks, Fred. Hi, I can't believe it's over a year since we were enjoying the Acapulco sun.
As the cue cards turn and as Adams' new corporate spokesman rallies the troops, sales director Fred Finlayson refers to a few cue cards of his own.
Congratulations on a solid selling effort.
Why Gary Carter and Adams Brands?
Well, let's put it this way. Gary's a celebrity. He's a winner. He's also a leader. He's a good-living family man. And he's a well-spoken young man. He's got a great personality. And he's got good appearance. And he exemplifies a good image for all the young folk of North America.
Oh, my God.
The next stop for Carter, image and all, is a press conference for the sports celebrity dinner he'll attend that night.
Harbor Castle, 3, 2, 1. Well, thank you, Al, and good afternoon, everybody. Down here at the Harbor Castle, all the eyes and all the attention is on Gary Carter of the Montreal Expos.
Spring training, I think, is a time to, concentrate on playing baseball. I don't think it's a time to be concentrating on trying to work out a contract. At the same token, I'm not going to change. I'm going to be the same kid as I always have been. There was not one negative iota that I heard at all, and it was just a good feeling on all of our parts as well, because we gave it our best. That, if anything, if you want to get into the tax situation, and it's just a matter of being in the same time zone, jumping on a plane and coming up and seeing all the people. Okay. Excellent. Okay, Brian. You're very welcome. Okay. All right. All righty. Let's go. Good. You?
Just a minute again. And you're from
The time is 8 p.m. The dress is black tie, and Carter and his fellow celebrities are awaiting the guest of honor, Yankee owner George Steinbrenner, baseball's biggest spender. The question on Carter's mind, and others, is what will Steinbrenner say to perhaps the best paid player ever?
How are you? Nice to see you, Gary.
Good to see you, George. How's everything?
The answer, how are you? Nice to see you. There are some things, apparently, that money can't buy. On the other hand, there are some things that money can buy. Carter's most lucrative and best-known commercial deal is his endorsement of 7-Up and his appearance at company luncheons like this one.
All right, I just want to explain a little bit the commercials. The whole idea and concept of the 7-Up commercials is having the commercials look realistic, and that's exactly what they've come through as.
I'm turning 7-Up!
And of course, last year I had the great deal of pleasure of working with my daughter Christy, and there was a 40-man film crew involved in filming the 7-Up commercial, and she had them eating out of her hands. Honestly, you try and use child psychology too. I mean, we went on this shot for like 3 days. We were down to the final day where the sun was setting, and they were saying, well, guys, we don't have a shot. What are we going to do?
Okay, now, Christy, give me your smoker.
Gee, Christy, glad I didn't call for that knuckleball. It almost brings tears to my eyes every time I do see that commercial, and there's a specialness behind that. But getting on to some other things, we'll talk a little baseball. And like I said, we've been bridesmaids 3 years in a row, and it seems like we're getting a step closer every year. And the first year, 79, we lost out by 2 games. In 1980, we lost out by 1 game. And then this year, of course, we lost out by 1 pitch. This is another reason why I'm excited about staying with Montreal and being involved with the team for the next 8 years.
Staying with Montreal, but not in Montreal.
This is where we'll be living for a while. And, Christy, you like your new home, honey?
Ironically, the deal which will make Gary Carter an Expo for the rest of his career has virtually exiled him and his family from Quebec to West Palm Beach, where the Expos train. The problem is the federal budget of last November the 12th, which eliminated tax shelters for professional athletes in Canada, and which pressured Carter to buy this new house and to sign his new contract as an American resident in Florida. Some of his taxes will stay in Canada, most will be paid in the U.S.
Yeah. Look out there, and then we can walk right out and go in the pool.
One of the first priorities after leaving the quiet Montreal suburb of Kirkland is a burglar alarm tied into his new telephone system.
Sam, Drew said that the only thing that's holding up the alarm system is the phones.
Okay.
So,
as soon as we get them in,
right.
We'll just go ahead and order them now then.
Okay, yeah. One for the kitchen, one for the master bedroom, and then a set, two different lines, and then the other one would be in here. What's this guy up here? Yeah, I figured that's it. Yeah. What, honey?
If we go to McDonald's.
Yeah, a little later, honey. Her favorite. Oh, I'm hungry too.
A teammate once said that Gary Carter's whole life has been like the high school prom.
Oh, cup job. Oh, right nut.
Carter says that if things have gone well for him, much of that success is due to his religious beliefs.
Get right on one knee and get very, very, very close.
I feel an inner peace within myself that I was able to gain back when I was 18 years of age when I became a Christian, and I feel that that has been my big plus. And so that inner peace is what comes out. I have been very thankful with the life that I've had. The good Lord has been good to me. There's been a lot of things that have happened in my life, but at the same token, I appreciate what I do have.
But sometimes a camera session can try even the patience of a born-again Christian.
Looking off that way, Gary.
You got it. Okay, Ray. Christ almighty, just take the damn picture.
There's no question that the biggest factor in Gary Carter's success has been what he's done on the baseball diamond, something agent Jerry Petrie told his client 7 years ago.
You create the people knocking on our door, and then we'll look after it from there, making sure that you're doing everything. We'll guide you in the right areas. Be with the right products, be with the right corporations, be with the right people, so that, that the thing that you've built over all these years, the smile, the wholesomeness, the all apple pie and motherhood and all that all of that is never, ever taken away from you because you're in bad company.
Heads up! Okay, good boy.
I wouldn't have them pitch any type of a cigarette company or anything that deals with booze or beer or...
You got the All-American Kid here.
That's right. We got the All-American Kid, and I think that he should be associated with products that America, that are like apple pie with America. In other words, hey, Adams have new products that are coming out in the marketplace that are coated with honey and beautiful natural foods. But we want to be associated with them, things like that.
All right, let's do a couple of...
Natural foods, like bubble gum. This is another of the time-honored traditions of spring training. The photograph that will end up on a bubblegum card, of which Carter himself has a substantial collection. He may not own a rare Mickey Mantle card, now valued at $3,000, but he does have an $800 Hank Aaron, and he wonders what a Gary Carter will be worth someday.
Let's go.
So does pitcher Steve Rogers, a career-long colleague of Carter.
Gary Carter and I have really grown up together at the major league level. We really know each other in certain situations, and it's really helped both of us in making everything run smoother. He's probably the best catcher in baseball right now.
Gary Carter has that distinction at a time when the best players are literally worth more than their weight in gold. His controversial new contract will cost the Expos over $2 million a year.
If I were to ask John McKeown how he feels about signing Gary Carter to the contract you're obviously delighted about, what would McKeown say to me?
What would John McKeown say? Oh, I'd say he's delighted.
But Montreal president John McKeown isn't delighted after more than 2 years of wrangling over the contract and wondering what the Expos were getting themselves into.
Was this responsible? Is this the sort of thing that we should be doing? And as the years went by and we had a taste of being as close as we were in 1981, and we had good years, and we had a good income possibility, and we have people who can afford it. We decided that we have to have this player. He plays a position that nobody else can play it, like Gary. He's the guy we need for our club to be a winner.
Would you have believed, back in the days with the Milwaukee Braves in the late 1950s, that you would give this much money to a catcher?
The Milwaukee Braves, with a championship club as they were in 1957 and 1958, were sold for $6 million. We're going to pay Gary over a period of course, over 7 years, 7 or 8 years, probably 3 times about what the franchise of the Milwaukee Braves is worth.
Carter and most of baseball's other multimillionaires believe the owners brought these astronomical salaries on themselves by underpaying generation after generation of the game's top stars.
Back then, they had full control. So, I mean, you could go out there and have a phenomenal year, and if the budget wasn't there for them, they would just simply say, well, we're giving you a cut or something. Joe DiMaggio, that happened to him as well.
Now that he earns twice as much each month as Joe DiMaggio did in his best year, there are those who wonder if the corporate Gary Carter will still play baseball like the kid of old. The Expos president isn't one of them.
Well, I think we've studied Gary enough to know. We've been with him since he was a boy coming out of high school. I don't think that is going to blunt his desire to be the best. I don't think when he walks on the field or Gary walks on the field that what his income is going to govern how hard he's going to play.